India is a land steeped in ancient cultures, each with its own rich mythology and folklore. Across the country, stories of spirits, demons, and supernatural beings have been passed down through generations, shaping the way people see the world around them. From northern mountains to southern coasts, every region has its own unique tales of hauntings and demonic presences. Today, we are going to dive into one of the most terrifying and haunted legends of all, the Munjya. In the dense forests of Maharashtra and along the Konkan coast in India, a chilling legend has been whispered for centuries, the tale of the Munjya. These spirits are believed to be the ghosts of young boys who died after the Munjya ceremony, a rite of passage into adulthood, but before they were married. Said to haunt ancient peepal trees, Munjya are clever and multilingual, often wandering the night, whispering secrets to the wind. Though not always harmful, they can become vengeful if their sacred trees are disrespected, throwing stones or even causing accidents. Some say these spirits can even possess people, forcing them into violent acts. While some believe the legend stems from the discomfort people feel resting under peepal trees at night due to high carbon dioxide levels, the eerie stories persist. Tonight, we dive into one such tale, a Munjya whose rage still haunts a village. The Vengeance of Munjya. It was the monsoon season in the small, secluded village of Amboli, located deep in the forests along the Konkan coast. The villagers had long lived in harmony with their surroundings, offering prayers to their ancient trees, especially the giant peepal tree that stood on the edge of the village. This tree was said to be over 200 years old, its roots digging deep into the soil, its branches swaying like the arms of forgotten spirits. But beneath its sprawling canopy lived something far older, far more dangerous. The spirit of a boy named Balu, now a Munjya. Balu had been a bright child, loved by all. His parents had been proud the day he underwent the Munjya ceremony, marking him as a young man in the eyes of the village. But fate can be cruel. A mere week after the ceremony, while playing near the river, Balu drowned in the raging waters. His parents were devastated, but soon his spirit was believed to have taken residence in the peepal tree. For years, the villagers honored the Munjya's spirit by leaving offerings under the tree, rice, flowers, and oil lamps to light his restless path. Balu's Munjya, it was said, would only remain calm if the village respected his tree. But everything changed one summer when a group of young men from a neighboring village visited Amboli. They laughed at the villagers' superstitions. Drunk on arrogance and local palm wine, they decided to desecrate the tree. With reckless abandon, they carved their initials into the bark, broke the offerings, and urinated on the roots. The air became heavy with tension. The trees themselves seemed to whisper in a tongue no one could understand. That night, the wind howled through the village like the wail of a mourning mother. As the clock struck midnight, the group of men began to feel uneasy. They could hear faint whispers, calling their names. Dismissing it as paranoia, they went to bed. But one by one, they awoke to the sound of stones clattering against their windows. Outside, the moon hung low, casting an eerie glow over the peepal tree. Its branches swayed violently despite the calm air around it. Suddenly, the door to their room creaked open. A chill seeped into the room and the candles they had lit flickered out. The youngest of the group, Ravi, felt an invisible weight press against his chest, his breath coming in short, panicked gasps. The others tried to help him, but their bodies were frozen in place as if held by unseen hands. A deep, guttural voice began to echo through the room, speaking in an ancient tongue. It was the voice of Balu's Munjya. He was angry, furious that his home had been defiled. "You have disturbed my slumber," the voice growled. "Now you shall pay with your blood." In a horrifying twist, the spirit of the Munjya began to control Ravi. His eyes rolled back into his head, and he began to chant in a language he had never known. The other men watched in terror as Ravi's hands twisted and contorted unnaturally, picking up a nearby knife. Under the Munjya's control, Ravi attacked the others, the blade slicing through the air with deadly precision. Blood stained the walls, and the once joyful group of friends lay lifeless on the floor. But the horror wasn't over yet. The Munjya wasn't satisfied. Ravi, still possessed, stumbled out of the house and towards the peepal tree. The villagers, awakened by the screams, gathered outside, watching in horror as Ravi began to claw at the tree's bark, drawing blood from his own hands. His body convulsed violently as he slammed his head repeatedly against the tree, as if offering himself to the vengeful spirit. With one final gasp, Ravi collapsed at the base of the tree, his body broken, his spirit shattered. The villagers knew what had happened. They had warned the outsiders, but their warnings had been ignored. The next morning, the tree stood still, eerily calm under the golden sunlight, but the marks of the night's terror remained. The blood-stained ground around the peepal tree told the tale of the Munjya's wrath. From that day onward, no one in Amboli dared to approach the peepal tree at night. Offerings were made regularly, and a shrine was built around it to appease the restless spirit of Balu's Munjya. The village remained haunted, not by the memory of the men who died, but by the knowledge that the Munjya still watched from the branches above, waiting for the next soul foolish enough to cross him. And so, the legend of the Munjya lives on, a reminder to respect the ancient forces that dwell within the natural world. Some say that on moonless nights, if you listen closely, you can still hear Balu's Munjya whispering through the leaves, warning all who dare to linger near the sacred peepal tree. So next time you pass by a dark, towering peepal tree, remember, not all spirits are content to rest. Some, like the Munjya, are waiting, watching for the moment to strike. And that, dear listeners, is the chilling tale of the Munjya. If you ever find yourself near an ancient tree in the dead of night, beware of the restless spirits that may be lurking. Remember to respect the unseen world, or you may find yourself at the mercy of a vengeful ghost. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the shadows. Until next time, stay curious, but always stay safe.